This is the DJI Flip, launched in January 2025 and received some very mixed reviews, not least of which from myself, pretty much down to its size, the prop noise, the lack of full obstacle avoidance, and its annoying habit of occasionally stopping dead in a little bit of mist. But I wanted to use it all the more to see how big an issue those things were, and crucially how it performed otherwise. To be honest, I'm pretty glad I did. This not so pretty little thing has actually grown on me over the last month or two, and it's shown me some good points that actually make it fun to fly, and crucially sometimes a really useful little bit of kit. I've actually been using it a fair bit whilst filming some e-bike videos. And of course, the biggest feature that sets this apart is the multiple ways it can be controlled, including crucially the ability to fly and follow me without any remote control at all. If you take a look at this clip where I'm using the Mini 4 Pro, there I am holding the RC remote whilst trying to ride the bike as well. Not great to do and not really a great result. But here's the same clip using the Flip. Now I had two different scenarios using the Flip, using it with my phone to control it through the Fly app, and also just using the flight mode button on the Flip itself to get it to follow me on the bike with no control at all. Now, one good thing I found is that if you get it to follow you first, then start riding a bike, it will generally follow you fine. Crucially, it never once flew into any of the overhanging branches or obstacles. Obviously, you get way more configurability on its position when flying using the phone, although I still found it would fly very, very close to me, even when I set the settings to keep it far and high when tracking. This thing really likes to stay close to you no matter what you set it to. That is, of course, unless it decides to see you but not follow you at all, which it did a few times. You can see here, it's nicely locked onto me, but as I moved off, it just sits there watching me ride away. This is kind of the crux of things, isn't it? All I wanted was to get a video of me riding along on the bike. Not a difficult task, in my opinion. Without any remote, it flew close and from behind only. Useful for some quick clips, but not enough for the entire video that I was filming. Now, with the phone controlling things and using direction track, I got more of the type of clip I was after, the drone flying backwards, keeping things a little bit more distance from me. Let's take this opportunity though to mention the video quality itself. One of the reasons I wanted to persevere with the Flip is because it has pretty much the same camera as the Mini 4 Pro. Big 1/1.3 inch sensor, and as you can see, it puts out brilliant 4K video. So having a drone with a decent camera and the ability to fly without a remote control is a huge thing for me, and not possible on any other DJI model at the moment, apart from the Neo, of course, which has got similar functions, but sadly is even louder, and frankly, whose camera isn't as good. But on this day, I also had the Mini 4 Pro in my backpack, and this is where you might understand my slight frustration with what the Flip could do, but doesn't do. All the Flip footage I got was very basic, either close up from behind or close up from one direction in front if I was using the phone to control things. Now compare it with the Active Track 360 footage I got from the Mini 4 Pro, and this was the footage I was after. Long, sweeping tracking with the camera further away from me to take in the surrounding countryside with varying positions from all directions. And this is the sort of active track I wish the Flip could do without having to use a full remote control, because the issue I have with the Mini 4 Pro footage, as dynamic and as impressive as it is that I have to carry the remote all the time. The moment I tried tucking the remote into my jacket, the sticks simply got pushed and the drone's position changed dramatically, or it just lost the tracking altogether. The other trick I tried was unscrewing the little sticks of the remote so that the stick positions didn't get pushed around when it was inside my jacket, but then I got unstuck by the touch screen just being touched and pressing up against me or my jacket, and it would stop recording. Either way, it was messy. And that is why the Flip has proved useful to me, because in certain situations, it's more capable even than the Mini 4 Pro, but with limitations. I found the Flip brilliant for just whipping it out of my backpack, firing it up automatically as I unfolded it, and get flying literally in around 20 seconds. But, and it is a big but, what I could then do with it was quite limited. But in truth, the Flip did generally perform well. There's no doubting its camera quality, which is a key thing, of course. And admittedly, I was trying to use it for a fairly specific scenario here, trying to track me on a bike. Now, if I was just walking, I could make easier use of the phone to control it. And of course, if I was using it to take one of the other selfie modes, like a droney, circle or rocket or whatever, then I'd have pretty much the same results as the Mini 4 Pro. And I'm sure it would be very, very good indeed. It's still a bit too noisy for my liking, but I guess it's a bit like a crying baby, isn't it? You get used to it after a while. It's not nice, but it fades into the background slightly. So for me, it's definitely not an alternative to the Mini 4 Pro, but I don't think it ever claimed to be honest. Right from the start, this has been pushed very much as a vlogger's selfie drone with a decent camera. Although, like I said in my first review, it could do better. It could have more intelligent flying modes and perhaps not always try and hug you so closely. Sometimes a little bit of space is good. Right, look, rambling, I think. Let's wrap this up. Look, I know this model is still quite divisive. People either love it and will not take any criticism of it at all, or they pretty much hate it and don't understand why anyone would buy it at all. But for me, it's certainly got its uses. Without the RC2 package, it's actually a cheap way to get a drone with a very decent camera. It's still noisy, as I said, it's still big even when folded up, but crucially it does take very decent video and pictures when you want it to, and that ultimately is what it's all about, isn't it? Look, as ever, let me know your thoughts below. Am I being still a little bit too critical of this, or am I just pointing out stuff that people need to know? Either way, let me know. Give me a little thumbs up if you like this sort of video, not necessarily the drone. Until next time, have fun, happy flying.